Sorry if I sound extra dead inside today, it's because I am. But I couldn't delay this video any longer. I've been playing Borderlands 3 and Apex Legends, but not a lot of Paladins. And if I'm completely honest, I haven't been interested in Paladins in the past couple of months, and I was kind of stuck on ideas, because while I had a lot, none of them were really worth an entire video. But since I've lost interest in Paladins, I've been wondering why that is, and then my friend pointed out to me that the game hasn't really changed in like 2 or 3 years. And while that is partially true, it really got me thinking. So let's talk about why Paladins sucks, my dear children, because nobody has covered this topic before. Now you might be thinking, Maddie, you dumb shit, Paladins has changed a lot. Yeah, but only for the worse. These motherfuckers are removing perfectly good features in the game and it almost feels like they wanted to die. Yes, they've released new champions, but that new is in giant quotation marks. Io is just sweep bait, Tiberius is furry bait, and Corvus is 11-year-old edgy girl bait. Gameplay wise, they don't really add anything new to the game, except maybe Luna, though even Luna is useless now too because they nerfed her for those who don't know what Bulldozer is. And all 3 of the recent champions have 1 or more abilities that are ripped straight from other pre-existing champions. I'm not gonna go on for too long, but just to get my point across. Officer's pistol is Koga's SMGs, but the damage is reduced, so it's basically a water pistol. Mark of Fate is Astral Mark. Crouching Tigron is just Lunar Leap, but forwards instead of backwards. Very original, guys. Combat Trance is Overcharge. Bleeded Bullshit is Maeve's Daggers. Moonlight is Restore Soul, but worse. Begone is just Torvald's ult, but you can't fucking aim it. I could go on, but I don't want to. This isn't really gameplay related, but the design of the characters is fucking bad. I already told you that these 3 are just bait, but on top of that, they're not creative. Yes, their designs are good, but in the context of the game, they are simply boring. I used to be hyped for new champions that come out too, but the more champions they release, the more I get fed up, and when Corvus came out, I legitimately had enough. But to be honest, this flank motherfucker really opened my eyes, and I'm here to open yours too. I wish they would release more unique looking champions like Willow, Drogoz, Grover, and Makoa. Paladins is based in this sort of Middle-earth D&D type world. It would be awesome if not every champion they released were just more humans. Seriously, every champion they've released since Emoji in January of 2018 have been human or humanoid in design. Can we please get more interesting characters added? I honestly could not agree more. Since the Abyss is, I'm assuming, the Paladin's equivalent of Hell, and is opened, you can have all sorts of creatures show up from both there and their equivalent of Heaven, but no. Just more humans, I guess. And yes, I know there's a whole event and map and a bunch of skins based around the Abyss, but I'm talking about missed champion design potential. Now since I've mentioned events, I really miss those. They used to be very frequent and now it's just TDM, Onslaught, Siege. Thankfully they're gonna do an event soon though, so I hope that will be interesting. But it is coming a bit late because I haven't been interested in this game for a few months now, and if you look at Steam charts, the player base is slowly declining. I was gonna mention how there's too much furry bait in this game, but why even bother? Listen, I don't mind furries as much as most people seem to, but when it's literally being shoved in your face with every other update, it gets irritating. Oh, do I love seeing a half-naked furry on my screen every time I fucking die. Also, it's probably a bit too late to ask, but please stop exploiting Pip.
I also told the furries to rise up.
Speaking of traps, there's a concept art for female ROMs, so I can't wait for that. By the way, besides not benefiting the game in the slightest, with each champion they introduce like a billion more bugs into the game, so if anything, these assholes are making the game worse. I used to be really excited to get home and play this game, but now it feels more like a chore than anything, unless I get a couple of my friends together and we do some stupid shit like try a champion combo or troll on a Smurf account. Also, I know that this has been talked about before and is a little bit of an older topic, but it still bothers me to this day, mainly because it was one of the only things left in the game that still felt any kind of rewarding. I used to keep up with the update live streams, so when they announced that they'd be removing top plays, I was not happy. And I knew the people who play the game would not be happy either. Still, I continued listening and they said that the old end screen is old and outdated, so they will try to change it and try to make it feel more rewarding in order to make up for the removal of top plays. Now, Paladins already has a problem with not being all that rewarding. Your level does not matter at all, and I'll talk about this more a bit later, but your champion level doesn't matter either. top plays was, in my opinion, one of the only things that felt rewarding in this game. Obviously, some ultimates like Skies would often get top play unfairly, but it still encouraged you to at least try a little bit. The end screen was supposed to make up for the removal of top play, but instead, they made it worse. Top play and the old end screen was a representation of who did the best out of both teams. The new end screen shows only how your team did, and you are always at the very front, which means that it doesn't matter how good or bad you did, you will always be at the front. Look at this game here. I did more healing than the 2 healers on the other team combined, but I got a title for shielding myself. Listen, I don't think that changing the end screen was a bad idea. It's actually a good idea, and a lot could have been improved, but it's simply not what they did. They made it worse by saying that no matter how good or bad you do, you will always be at the front. I said I'd come back to levels, so let's do just that. I've been playing Paladins for just over 3 years now, since around the middle of 2017 to be exact. In late 2017, I took an interest in playing Talus. At this time, I was absolutely obsessed with the game. I'd get home every day and just play Paladins. And I remember this very clearly because it pissed me off so much. Now, many new players probably don't know this, but you used to actually have to grind to get to a certain level with the champion. It was actually kind of insane. Back then, it was rare to see anyone over level 30 with any champion, and to put this into perspective, I grinded Talus for 2 months just to get to level 20 with him. Keep in mind this was during the time where I didn't keep up with the updates, but after said 2 months, I only managed to get to like level 18 or 19, and that's when they added the ability to buy levels. You actually have no idea how angry I was at that time. Remember what I said earlier, at this time I was absolutely obsessed with the game, but this angered me enough that I quit for a few months. It might not sound like a lot, but for someone who only played very few games and was in love with Paladins at the time, it was weird. The whole point of leveling up is grinding for that experience. The point of having levels is that you play to get them. You would think that I'd be happy when they announced that they were removing that ability, and initially I was, but that happiness slowly faded, because they removed it a whole year later, causing irreversible damage. There are already a bunch of people running around with a level 50 Drogos or a level 150 Mave, when they probably only earned around 15 or 20 of those levels. But besides the game not having any point anymore, the whole level thing has now created this disconnect between the old and new / future players. Unless you don't care about people's champions levels, which, let's be honest, no one waits to see your skill. If you come in with a level 5 champion, these shitty players will throw, and it doesn't matter how well you do, now the loss is 100% your fault, not the insta-lock Vivian who went AFK after losing 1 point, even though the game was a 1-to-1. If you're level 70 and you make one singular mistake, you will not hear the end of it until the end of the game, and maybe even afterwards if they decide to message you. I'm not gonna talk about ranked for long either, because not only has it been talked about to death, but I also can't take it seriously if I tried. If you brag about your rank, I have no respect for you, because only rares brag about their rank in Paladins. I'll tell you why. I shit you not, I got on my Smurf account with my friend to play ranked because I'm tired of sweaty assholes shitting on me for having a filler card in my deck, and keep in mind I'm a silver on that account and he's a platinum. We not only get grandmasters on the enemy team, but we lost a match because 3 people on our team and 2 people on the enemy team disconnected all at the same time. Ranked in this game is a fucking joke, and I'm pretty sure I've seen more grandmasters than I've seen bronzes, which should tell you something. So why am I still here? Well, I don't really play often, but when I do it's because I'm interested in trying new champions. And by new, I don't mean these, I mean the ones that I have not tried before, like more recently Cassie and Sky. And I know this entire video has been me shitting on the game, but I honestly do love it and I hope you can enjoy it more than I can.